went to a church called his life.
Right.
But the church has never told him how to get to heaven to be tied to being alive.
Right, it doesn't. You know who you are according to the Bible? That's our church's garbage. That's why it's trash. Let me go to church. There you go. 20 years of waste. Garbage.
Micah, chapter 3, verse 11.
Watch this.
The heads thereof judge for reward.
That's our church's garbage. That's why it's trash.
I just be wondering, like, what really be understanding of the church? Like, that really be my purpose. Like, you really know how what I'm going through. Me personally, like, I want to feel this. I want to feel it with you. I mean, like, I go through a lot. So, like, are you really praying for me, or are you just trying to get me to?
Hey, you?
Yeah.
That's our church's garbage. That's why it's trash. He said, I know your trials, your tribulations to come, because trials are coming. Famine, food shortage, crime, poverty, disease is all around us right now. You can't deny that. That's real. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 27. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations.
The Lord will make you a diaspora. He will scatter you among the nations. Come on.
And ye shall be left few in number among the heathen.
You'll be brought there few because most of us, a lot of us died on them slave ships during the Middle Passage. Many of us died by the thousands on them ships. So you'll left few in number. Then eventually, you know how we are, we don't die, we multiply.
That's right.
Come on, after a while, come on.
Whither the Lord shall lead you, and there ye shall serve gods.
And there you shall what?
Serve gods.
You shall serve gods. What gods y'all serve today? Read on, watch this.
The work of men's hands.
The works of man's hands. What gods do we serve today that are of man's hands?
Let them know.
Christmas, New Year's,
right.
Thanksgiving,
right.
Labor Day,
right.
birthdays,
right.
Halloween,
right.
Valentine's Day, Mother's Day. Those are gods of man's hands.
That's right.
That's not of God. That's not of God. Read on.
And there ye shall serve God, the work of men's hands.
Come on.
Wood and stone.
What's the wood? The wood is the cross, or your rosaries,
right,
that you wear out here, made of wood. You shall serve those gods. White God, Caucasian gods. Right. Wood and what?
Wood and stone.
Stone is Islam. Stone is Islam. That's what it is.
Bring it up.
The Kaaba stone. Stone is Islam. You'll serve them too. During the Islamic invasion of Africa, the Muslims came in and sold us as slaves over there too. They were the forerunners of slavery. I'm going to say it again. The Muslims, prior to the white man's arrival, were the forerunners of slavery.
Right.
Read on.
Which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell.
Come on.
But if from thence thou shalt seek the Lord thy God, thou shalt find him.
Come on.
If thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul. When thou art in tribulation.
When what?
When thou art in tribulation.
When you are in tribulation. I'm reading again. As of next year, they passed a law 2 years ago that will come into effect in Chicago as of next year, New Year's Day. It says in Illinois there will be non-detainable offenses.
Right.
Non-detainable offenses will include as such aggravated battery. Aggravated battery is rape and violence, physical harm. Aggravated DUI. Aggravated fleeing. If someone kills your mama or brother, they can flee the state, they will not be chased. Arson, burglary, drug-induced homicide. If I get high and run your black behind over, I'm good. I don't get detained. Intimidation. If I threaten your family, I'm good. Kidnapping. If they kidnap you, they don't get detained. Robbery, second-degree murder, threatening a public official. These will be legally allowed starting in Chicago as of January 1st. All right? So I'm just showing y'all, it's not a game. It says instead a judge would issue a pre-trial release. The judge would issue a pre-trial release conditions for offenders. Something local pastors have been pushing for. Saying the change is necessary to improve the criminal justice system. Your pastors are the devil the Bible speaks of.
Teach!
You need to Michael 3:11? You got a question, sis? You got a question? All right.
Yeah.
You got a question?
Yeah, come on.
What's the question? Michael 3:11.
Nah, he was saying he went to a church all his life.
Right.
But the church has never told him how to get to heaven and he's tired of being alive.
Right, it doesn't. You know what heaven is? You know who you are according to the Bible? That's why church is garbage. That's why it's trash. How old are you? 26? 20? How long have you been going to church? All your life. 20 years of waste. I spent 15 years of waste, so don't feel bad. It's garbage. Now I'm going to show you why. Read Michael 3:11. Read that. Now, I read earlier, are you familiar with the news in Chicago? You familiar with that law? You familiar with that? They're passing a law in Chicago to make certain severe crimes non-detainable. You heard about that? What'd you hear about it?
Good.
Come here, I can't hear you, bro. You scared for? Come here, I'm not gonna shoot you.
Stop, man. I'm shy.
You good right there? Okay. Come on, brother, come on. I'm not Caucasian. I'm not gonna shoot you in the street and have it on film. Don't be nervous. I'm not done with you. So, the law they passed in Chicago, you familiar with it? I'll read it for you. They passed a law 2 years ago that's coming into effect as of next year, New Year's Day, that will cause Chicago to be a purge. You know the movie Purge? It's going to be real in Chicago. It's called non-detainable offenses. It's going to be terrible in Chicago.
Right.
Understand? Read that. Michael 3:11. And you have pastors in the article that pastors were pushing for that to be passed. Local pastors were pushing for that law to be passed. That make sense to you? Does that make sense to pass that law? No, but the local pastors agree it is. Read this.
Micah, chapter 3 and verse 11.
Watch this.
The heads thereof judge for reward.
Whoa! I better walk on this money. Woo! 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 Get some anointing. You put some up here. Woo! Man. Woo! Put some money. Put some anointing on this money. You put something up here. You put. Woo! Prosper. Prosper, I said.
These pastors are our heads. Heads of the community. They're looked at as leaders, senior officials. They're looked upon as rulers. Read again.
The heads thereof judge for reward.
Judge for money. Like tithing. You know what tithing is? Tithing. You pay your tithes. What's that about? Explain tithing to me. Explain to me.
To me, my opinion, like,
Yeah. Okay.
That's what it is, been school to me. Like, you give your tithes.
Right.
Show that you care. Show that you love. Like, you love God.
How much you get?
25.
10%? Sound right?
Me personally, I give out 40.
What they get? What was the minimum? 10%, right? Yeah, but you get 40%. That's your money. It's cool, it's fine.
I just be wondering, like, what really be understanding of the church, though. Like, that really be my purpose. Like, come my pastor, I always been going to the same pastor. And I'm like, do you really know how what I'm going through?
Right.
Or what my mind is? Like me personally, like I want to feel this. I want to feel the Holy Spirit. I go through a lot. So it's like, are you really praying for me, or are you just trying to get me to?
Hey, you?
Yeah.
Read it again.
The heads thereof judge for reward.
Money. Read.
The priests thereof teach for hire.
Money.
And the prophets thereof divide for money.
Sing it 3 times. The same thing. Another word you use is pastor. That's what they do. Now, can we tie anything real quick? Is that it in that verse?
Will they lean upon the Lord and say, is not the Lord among us?
It's not God with us. It's not God in this church, in this gathering. Ha ha. Yeah, Lord. Ha ha. God in Jesus Christ. Ha ha. That's what they do all day long. Hucking and hutting, and breathing all that nonsense. That's what they do, right? Hey, the organ, everyone's all happy, falling down, rolling around the floor. Read that?
None evil can come upon us.
Good. We're gonna get blessings. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, tithing.
Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 22.
I'm going to explain to you what tithing is. We're gonna do it together. So it's gonna be a Q&A for you. So you're paying attention. Read that. 14:22.
Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 22.
To show you what tithing is, and I'm gonna see if you understand what tithing is, based upon what the Bible says. Read that.
Thou shalt truly tithe.
So he's saying you shall truly tithe. Give your tithes. Go ahead.
Of the increase of thy seed.
You shall tithe all the increase of your seed. You know what seed is? No, your seeds. Seeds. You know what seed is for? For growing things. So he said you shall tithe all your seeds. That's crops. Read on.
That the field bringeth forth.
That the what?
That the field bringeth forth.
Crops. Go ahead. You shall tithe your seeds. Go ahead.
Year by year.
How many times?
Year by year.
Is it once every week?
Year by year.
Year by year, you take a percentage of your crops you gathered and you put it to the side. For tithing, year by year, up until a certain point. Watch, read.
And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God, and the place which he shall choose to place his name there.
You take this stuff, you take the tithes there, you go to a place to gather and eat it there before the Lord. Watch this.
The tithe of thy corn.
The tithe of your corn. Corn, go ahead.
Of thy wine.
Your liquor. That's the grapevine. That's plants. It's all seed regardless. You go corn with what? Right. You go wine with what? Come on.
And of thy oil.
Oil comes from what? Plants. Seeds. Go ahead.
And the firstling of thy herd and of thy flocks.
What's your herd and your flock? What's your herd and your flock? What's a herd? You heard of a herd before? A herd of animals? A herd. Herd of sheep, herd of goat, herd of oxen. Your animals. What do your animals live off of? With what? What do they eat? The crops of your corn. Remember that? The seeds? So your animals survive off of what? Your seeds, what you grow. You tithe those things. Read.
The firstling of thy herds and of thy flocks.
The first thing means the best. You bring that up. Offer it for sacrifice. Read on.
That thou mayest learn to fear the Lord thy God.
Come on.
Always.
Come on.
And if the way be too long for thee.
Now, after you've gathered these things to the side, a percentage of your crops you put to the side off to tithe it later on, year by year. There's a certain time when you take those things you gathered and you all meet up, you bring it with you. And you meet in a place to gather, Jerusalem, and you eat it before the Lord. Not just you, but others who did the same thing. Our nation did the same thing. Come on.
And if the way be too long for thee.
But if you live further away from Jerusalem, further away, and you can't carry all that stuff on you, the crops, all the animals, what do? Read?
So that thou art not able to carry it.
You can't carry it, too much.
Or if the place be too far for thee.
Too long of a travel to carry it, come on.
Which the Lord thy God shall choose to set his name there.
Come on.
When the Lord thy God hath blessed thee.
You've been blessed. You got a bunch of animals, bunch of crops, that's blessings. Go ahead.
Then shalt thou turn it into money.
What do you do with it?
Turn it into money.
You turn your tithes into money. To do what? Read.
And bind up the money in thy hand.
Take it in your hand. Come on.
And shall go into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose.
What you do is you take your herd, your crops, your corn, the crops of your fine, the first things of your flock. You sell it. You sell those things. You sell it off. Get money for it. Take the money with you to the place to gather with those other people that got there with their tithes. Come on.
And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after.
You spend it on whatever you want when you get there to worship. Come on.
For oxen or for sheep.
You go and buy ox. Go ahead.
Or for wine.
You go buy wine.
Or for strong drink.
You go buy a strong drink, liquor. Come on.
Or for whatsoever thy soul desireth.
Or whatever you want to buy, you buy when you get there with the money that you sold the things off with. Go ahead.
And thou shalt eat there before the Lord thy God.
To eat over there. Go ahead.
And thou shalt rejoice in thine household.
What verse is that?
That's verse 26.
Keep going to 28.
And the Levite that is within thy gates.
So you give these things. So you take these things and you do what?
And the Levite that is within thy gates.
Come on.
Thou shalt not forsake him.
Come on.
For he hath no part nor inheritance with thee.
Come on.
At the end of 3 years, thou shalt bring forth all thy tithes.
So, year by year, you grow your crops, the tithe of your corn, the tithe of your wine, the tithe of your seeds, whatever, your flocks. Listening? Then you put it off to the side year by year. After 3 years, you take those things, bring them with you to the place of worship. If you live too far, or you got blessed so much, you have so many, you sell it. And you bring that money and go to the place of worship and buy what you want there. But the key words is, buy what you want. Right? So, it says, how often do you tithe in this verse? How often? It says year by what?
Year by year.
Is it week by week? So
Bring it out.
you collect tithes from the pastor, collect tithes from you week by week?
Bring it out.
Or year by year? Is that what your pastor does? Is that what pastors do today? No.
No.
They do it week by week?
By week.
Is that right according to the Bible? No.
Right.
No. Tithing is not money. Tithing, you sell your tithes for money and buy what you want. And you give it to the Levites. So the Levites were a tribe which had no land. You would support them because they had no land. Because they were the priests at the time. The Levites got the tithes. The stranger or the poor got the tithes to eat from you because you got blessed. You got enough to feed everybody. That's what tithing is. Tithing is not a weekly thing that you give your 40% to. You're being robbed, brother. You're being extorted.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.